making this video in reference to a video that my friend Rabbi Asher Meza posted about the subject of the three oaths. Now, the three oaths, he points out very interestingly and wisely that this is a basic idea of the Torah, and it's just common sense. And it didn't need to be stated in the method of a Gadata. And he points out how people who make everything about a Gadata except this one, then all of a sudden they're like, well, it's not halacha, it's just a Gadata. So, and however there he blames the Ramban HaKadosh. And I want to clarify what the Ramban Nachmanides wrote there, and this is not my idea. This is, first of all, very clearly what the Ramban is saying. You know, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to realize this, because, of course, the Ramban also excuse me, very clearly held from the oaths, and there's no, and even there, what is he talking about? What is the Ramban there commenting on the Sefer Mitzvos and asking why the Rambam doesn't list Yishuv Eretz Yisrael as one of the Torah Mitzvos, and the Ramban holds it is. We have to understand what he means in according to the sheet of the Rambam. According to the opinion of the Rambam, meaning the Rambam is one of several Rishonim who go and count the 613 mitzvos. We have a Gemara in Hebrew tells us that there's 613 mitzvos, and it says that there's 248 positive mitzvos and 365 negative mitzvos. Altogether, it's 613. But what are those 613? That is a question that is not answered by Chazal. The sages don't tell us what are these 613 commandments. And among the Geonim and the Rishonim, we see there are different opinions as to what those 613 are. So the Rambam suggests his shorashim, his roots, as to, because there are many more than 613 commandments in the Chumash. But how do you define which commandment is one of the 613 and which one is not? What do I mean? What's the example of one that's clearly not, it's a commandment that's given in the Torah that's clearly not one of the 613? So a great example would be the copper snake that Moses made, because that was a one-time commandment. It would not, meaning it's not applying to future generations. It was commanded once, and it was only for that one time, in that one place, and then it's done. So that would not be considered one of the 613. Now, so then the question comes, Yishuv Eretz Yisrael and Kibush Eretz Yisrael, living in the Holy Land and the conquering of the Holy Land. So, Rambam L'Shitaso, Maimonides, according to his opinion, is stating that the conquest of Eretz Yisrael happened one time by Joshua, by Yehoshua, and that's it. It didn't have to be done again. The land was already conquered, and so there was no further conquest. And so the command to conquer the land however, disagrees. And we have to understand, what does he mean when he says Noeg Ladoros? Meaning those words are the most severely misunderstood, and that's why I'm explaining this. When the Ramban says, and the Samarav brings this in the Vayel Moshe, in the Maimer Yishuv Eretz Yisrael, when the Ramban says that Yishuv Eretz Yisrael and Kibush Eretz Yisrael is Noeg Ladoros, that this singular mitzvah, which combines both the settling of the Holy Land and the conquest of the Holy Land, that when he says that it applies for future generations, he does not mean in the sense that it applies in all generations. What he means is that just as the mitzvah of the mitzvahs of the Beis Hamikdash, the mitzvahs of the Karbanos, would apply in future generations. However, there's a time and a place, meaning in Galus it's different than in other times, and so today we don't bring Karbanos, but but when Mashiach comes, it will happen again. And even until then, the whole fact that the future generations were, throughout the time when the temple stood and when we had the Mishkan, had these mitzvos of Korbanos. So those mitzvos fit according to the Rambam, who has his shoroshim, he has his roots of what defines a mitzvah, what defines one of the 613 commandments of the Torah that are applicable for future generations. That's one of the roots. Doesn't mean that it always applies, but it means that it wasn't just a one-time thing in the days of Moses. And that's what the Ramban is saying about Kibush Eretz Yisrael. The conquest of Eretz Yisrael, we see David HaMelech conquered more lands and so forth. So therefore, when we say Yishuv Eretz Yisrael, Kibush Eretz Yisrael, that the Ramban is saying that it applies for generations, doesn't mean that it applies right now, Kibush Eretz Yisrael, the conquest. What it means is that it applies in future generations. And so once again, for example, when Mashiach comes, there will again be this inyan of Kibush. What the Ramban also says is that Yishuv Eretz Yisrael, the dwelling in the Holy Land, is a part of this mitzvah of Kibush Eretz Yisrael, that they are indeed one mitzvah. And so then the Ramban separates. He says, Afilu b'zman hagolus. Again, this is something that's sorely misunderstood. That he says, even now, in the time of the exile, we fulfill the mitzvah by Yishuv Eretz Yisrael, meaning that by living in the Holy Land, one is Mekayim the mitzvah of living in the Holy Land. Meaning it's a mitzvah you could do to walk Daled Amos in Eretz Yisrael. Meaning the Ramban is making it obvious that he's talking in a non-political way. Meaning in Golos, it's a non-political concept of Yishuv Eretz Yisrael. We live humbly under whatever regime is in charge, and in that way one fulfills a mitzvah. But that's not to say that it's a military conquest, but rather it is only a religious devotion of living in the Holy Land, without any political or military applications. And So that's why the Ramban separates that in the time when it's not Golus, there's a concept of Kibush Eretz Yisrael that applies in a military way, political way, but now that we're in exile, we are unable to do that, and we're forbidden from doing that. It seems pretty obvious the Ramban holds that we are forbidden from doing such a thing, and yet all we can do is Yishuv Eretz Yisrael, that living in the Holy Land, one is Mekayim a mitzvah. If one is able to. So Rav Moshe Feinstein, he says like this, that Yishuv Eretz Yisrael is a mitzvah kiyumis, but not a mitzvah chiyuvis. That this, how the Ramban understands living in the Holy Land, it's a mitzvah that one can fulfill by doing so, but that one is under no obligation to go out of his way to do so. Meaning, tefillin is a mitzvah chiyuvis. A man is obligated to wear tefillin on every workday, every weekday, every day that's not Shabbos or Yom Tov. There's a mitzvah chiyuvis. This is like brisker Torah a little bit, but there is an obligatory mitzvah of wearing tefillin. Tzitzis is a mitzvah kiyumis, meaning if you happen to have a four-cornered garment, then you're mekayim the mitzvah. Then you're mechuyev in the mitzvah. If you're wearing such a garment, then the garment has a chiyuv of tzitzis, and the person wearing such a garment is mekayim a mitzvah kiyumis, but one is under no obligation to go out of his way to have such a garment. Meaning, if he has it, he's doing a mitzvah. If he doesn't have it, he doesn't have to wear it. He's not obligated to do so. It's the proper thing to do, and an Erlich does it, but he's not obligated to do something like that. So even though similarly Eretz Yisrael, but Eretz Yisrael, of course, it's not like tzitzis, like the Vilner Gaon before he was nifter was in Chol Moed Sukkos. He's sitting in the sukkah, he's looking at his tzitzis, and he is crying that for a few pennies he could buy an eternal reward of a mitzvah, and you can't do that once you leave this world. And so tzitzis, it's not extremely expensive. Alright, maybe spending $20 on a pair of cotton tzitzis, maybe you're spending $40 on wool tzitzis, maybe you spend $100 in a talis, maybe more. You want to have hitter mitzvah, but still, it's not like Eretz Yisrael that you have to pick up and change your whole life and do everything. When the Navi Yirmiyahu, he said, build homes where you live. He said, pray for the peace of the city where I sent you. He didn't say, he said those people who are sending you back to Eretz Yisrael, they're false prophets. Is what he actually said. And so we have these false prophets today who are trying to push the same thing, just what Jeremiah was warning us against. Jeremiah said, stay where you live, and we see people, their lives have been ruined by this. First of all, how many people have died needlessly because of this movement? 20,000 Jews killed in wars and terrorism that was instigated because of this movement. And so pikuach nefesh is dolche every other mitzvah, except for, shvichas damim gelrais. But other than that, you're supposed to, you're not allowed to give up your life, especially in Golus. Maybe in the time of Malchus and this, so they have an army and it's inherently dangerous. But we don't have that today. We're forbidden from having such a thing today. So again, all right, like Rabbi Meza said, there are different opinions, and also he said very wisely, like the state of Israel is like England or India or Australia, Canada. I don't, I wish Canada very well. I wish India very well. I wish England and Australia, New Zealand, I wish them all well. But I don't feel that I have any obligation as a Jew to pray for those countries, because it's not my job. Phil, what? Yeah. We'll fill up regular cash. So too, just the same, we're not under the obligation to pray for, for a country like Israel any more than any other. When they're in trouble, we pray that the Jews who are living there should be safe, and so forth, of course. But there's nothing about Israel that's, as Jews, we should feel that, this is our country, this represents us as Jews, and this and that. No, we are Americans, or wherever country we live in. That's who we are. We're not Israeli, unless if you are an Israeli, so that's a different story. So then you'd be an Israeli, but do I have enough money for this? So anyway, I'll have to break 50. Spent too much money today. Alright. Well, thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And wait a second. That's single. Do I have one more? I think he's gonna probably put it all the way anyway. Alright, thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you later. Alright. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. God bless you. Have a good night. So, once again, thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And we'll watch. We could talk about this more in the future. I know, again, this is something that people are not going to be happy about, but it's a fact, and Rabbi Meza's video was very good, and basically all I want to do here was defend the Ramban. Alright, thank you for watching. God bless.